Imagine living in a brutal world where every choice is a standoff between morality and survival. A place where your own thoughts are a constant battleground, and the human spirit is more terrifying than any external threat. There was a writer who didn't just observe these conflicts, but understood them at a depth no one else could reach. His name was Fyodor Dostoevsky. He wasn't just a novelist, he was a sage of the human soul. He was one of those rare thinkers who could descend into the darkest layers of the suffering self. His novels don't just tell stories, they strip existence down to its naked truth. They expose the agony of guilt, the crushing weight of conscience, and that ancient war between good and evil, waging inside every single one of us. From the tormented Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment to the skeptical Ivan in the Brothers Karamazov, his characters aren't imaginary beings. They are reflections of our deepest fears, desires, and contradictions. To understand Dostoevsky is to understand ourselves. But what makes his work immortal? Why do we still turn to him while searching for meaning in chaos? Because Dostoevsky didn't write from theory. He wrote from the raw source of lived experience. He wrote from inside real pain, real redemption, and the real trenches of the human condition. Think about his life. It was as dramatic and tragic as his novels. Born in Moscow in 1821, he grew up in a strict environment and met the harsh face of life early. But the moment that defined him came in 1849. He was arrested for discussing banned books and radical ideas. He was sentenced to death. Imagine standing before a firing squad, blindfolded, waiting for the seconds to tick down to the end of your life. And then, just seconds before the execution, a reprieve from the Tsar. His sentence was commuted to exile and hard labor in Siberia. That psychological earthquake, facing death and then being handed life back, never left him. It cast a long shadow over his greatest works. In Siberia, living among criminals and outcasts, Dostoevsky began to truly understand human nature. He saw people stripped of all illusions, reduced to their primal states. He realized something profound. Suffering isn't just misery. It is a path to understanding. It is a gateway to spiritual depth. Let me ask you, what does suffering mean to you? Have you ever considered that your greatest struggles might also be your greatest teachers? After returning from exile, he wrote Notes from Underground. It is the confession of a man who despises society, but loathes himself even more. Here, Dostoevsky introduces one of his most disturbing ideas. Humans are not guided solely by logic or self-interest. There is something darker, something unpredictable within us. We are contradictory beings. Sometimes, we choose suffering over happiness just to prove we are free. Think about it. Have you ever knowingly sabotaged your own happiness? Have you ever acted against your own best interests, even while knowing the consequences? Dostoevsky understood that human nature isn't simple. True self-awareness requires staring into the abyss of our own contradictions. Let's look at Crime and Punishment. On the surface, it's a story about murder and guilt. But deep down, it is a profound interrogation of how we justify evil. Raskolnikov doesn't kill out of hatred. He does it because he believes he has the right to. He sees himself as extraordinary, above the laws that bind ordinary men. But this crime doesn't grant him power. It brings him unbearable torment. He becomes trapped in a prison of his own making, not just physical, but mental and spiritual. Ask yourself, have you ever tried to justify something you knew was wrong? Have you ever said, "My intentions were good," only to feel the weight of your conscience later? Dostoevsky captures this universal experience perfectly. But Crime and Punishment isn't just a story of guilt. It is a story of redemption. Raskolnikov is saved not by escaping punishment, but by accepting it. This reflects Dostoevsky's deep belief: suffering is not the enemy of the soul. It is its purifier. Through suffering, we are stripped of our illusions and forced to confront our own truth. This brings us to his masterpiece, The Brothers Karamazov. In this book, the full spectrum of faith and doubt is embodied in three brothers. Alyosha represents deep, sacrificial faith. Ivan represents the intellect and crushing doubt. Ivan poses one of the strongest arguments against faith ever written. If God exists, why is there suffering, especially the suffering of innocent children? Dostoevsky doesn't answer this with simple dogma. He doesn't dismiss Ivan's doubts. Instead, he places them at the very center of the human experience. Alyosha doesn't refute his brother with logic. He answers him with love. The novel suggests that faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about choosing love despite the uncertainty. Dostoevsky's answer to the meaning of life is complex. He promises no easy path. He argues that meaning is found not by avoiding suffering, but by bearing it. Have you ever had a moment where you questioned everything, where the weight of existence felt unbearable? If so, Dostoevsky is speaking directly to you. His novels aren't meant to comfort, they are meant to wake you up, to shake you. His final and most powerful truth is this: no one is beyond redemption. No one is truly lost. The road may be painful. It may require humility and brutal introspection, but there is always a way forward. Raskolnikov was pulled back from the edge not by his intellect, but by love. For Dostoevsky, love is not a sentiment, it is a saving action. It is a force stronger than guilt, stronger than punishment. So, have you ever felt you didn't deserve forgiveness? That your past mistakes defined you? Dostoevsky would tell you, no, you are not defined by your past. You are defined by what you choose now, by your courage to face yourself. We all have kindness and cruelty, faith and doubt living side by side within us. In the end, what matters isn't intelligence, power, or wealth. What matters is what we believe in, whether we choose love despite the pain and hope despite the uncertainty. Dostoevsky made that choice. He could have surrendered to nihilism and despair, but he didn't. He believed in the possibility of redemption. Now, that choice belongs to us. What will you do with your suffering? Will you let it consume you, or will you let it transform you? Dostoevsky gives us the questions. The answers are up to us. Thanks for watching. Walk your own path. Everything is in your hands. If you want to explore the depths of the human mind with us, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This is Luminox Theory.